You know, there's something that happens to all of us as we get a little older. Suddenly, the things we used to lift without a second thought start feeling a whole lot heavier. Maybe it's that bag of groceries, a potted plant you want to move, or even your grandchild's toy that somehow ended up under the couch. And if you've ever bent down to pick something up and felt that twinge in your back, you're not alone. Back pain is one of the most common complaints as we age. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be that way. The truth is, lifting heavy objects the wrong way can put a lot of strain on your back, and over time, that can lead to serious discomfort or even injury. But if you learn the right techniques, simple, easy adjustments to how you move, you can protect your back and keep doing the things you love without fear. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. In this video, I'll walk you through 3 key techniques to lift heavy objects safely after 70. These aren't complicated exercises or hard-to-remember rules, just practical, common-sense methods that can make a world of difference. And we'll start with the most important one, using your legs, not your back. You've probably heard the phrase, lift with your legs, not your back, before. But what does that really mean? Well, think about it this way. Your legs are some of the strongest muscles in your body, while your back, especially as we age, is more vulnerable to strain. So when you bend at the waist to pick something up, all that weight is pulling on your spine. But if you bend your knees and keep your back straight, you let your legs do the heavy lifting instead. Here's how to do it right. First, stand close to the object you're lifting. You don't want to reach for it. Then, bend at the knees, not the waist, like you're sitting back into a chair. Keep your chest up and your back straight as you lower yourself down. Once you've got a good grip, push through your heels to stand up, keeping the object close to your body. That's it. You've just taken the pressure off your back and put it where it belongs, on those strong legs of yours. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. But what if my knees aren't what they used to be? That's a fair question. If kneeling is tough for you, try this variation. Instead of a full squat, use a staggered stance, one foot slightly in front of the other, and bend the front knee while keeping the other leg straight for support. It's a little easier on the joints, but still keeps your back safe. The key here is to take your time. There's no rush when lifting something heavy. If you need to adjust your position or take a breath before lifting, that's perfectly fine. It's much better to move slowly and safely than to risk hurting yourself by rushing. And that brings us to our next technique, positioning yourself the right way before you even start lifting. Because sometimes, the way we approach an object sets us up for trouble before we even try to pick it up. But don't worry, we'll cover that in just a moment. For now, practice this first method, using your legs instead of your back, and see how it feels. You might be surprised at how much of a difference it makes. So, let's talk about that second technique, because even the strongest lift won't help if you're not starting from the right position. And that's all about getting close, staying balanced, and making sure you're set up for success before you even bend down. But we'll get into that right after this. Now that you've got the hang of using your legs instead of your back, let's talk about something just as important: how you position yourself before you even lift. Think about it like this. If you're reaching too far or standing unevenly, it doesn't matter how strong your legs are. Your back is still going to take on unnecessary strain. So, before you pick up anything heavy, take a second to set yourself up right. First things first, get close. I mean really close. The farther an object is from your body, the harder your back has to work to keep you balanced. So, step right up to whatever you're lifting, almost like you're giving it a little hug. This keeps the weight centered over your feet, where it's easiest to control. If you have to stretch or lean to grab something, that's your cue to move your whole body closer instead. Next, check your footing. Are both feet planted firmly on the ground? Is one leg twisted or off to the side? A stable base makes all the difference. Try standing with your feet about hip-width apart, toes pointing forward. This gives you a solid foundation and helps prevent wobbling when you lift. And if you're lifting something really heavy or awkward, like a box from a low shelf, try the staggered stance we talked about earlier. One foot slightly ahead of the other. It's like giving yourself an extra anchor to push against. Here's something else we don't always think about. The object itself. Is it too big to grip comfortably? Too slippery? If so, take a moment to adjust. Use both hands, and if you can, bend your fingers all the way around it, like you're giving it a firm handshake. For things like grocery bags, try carrying one in each hand to balance the load instead of lugging everything on one side. And if something's clearly too heavy or awkward to lift alone, that's not a sign of weakness. It's smart. Ask for help, use a cart, or make 2 trips. Your back will thank you. Now, let's put it all together. Say you're lifting a medium-sized potted plant from the floor. First, walk right up to it so your toes are almost touching the pot. Place one foot slightly back for stability. Then bend your knees, not your waist, until you can comfortably wrap both hands around the base. Take a breath. Tighten your core just a little, like you're bracing for a gentle cough, and push up through your heels, keeping the pot close to your body as you rise. No twisting, no jerking, just smooth and steady. That's the golden rule. Of course, life isn't always ideal. Maybe the thing you need is wedged in a tight space or up on a high shelf. That's where our third technique comes in, working smarter, not harder. Because sometimes the safest way to lift something heavy is, well, not to lift it at all. But we'll get into those clever tricks, like sliding, pivoting, and using everyday tools, in just a minute. By now, you've got 2 great techniques under your belt, using your legs instead of your back, and positioning yourself for stability before lifting. But here's something I want you to remember. Being strong doesn't always mean muscling through. Sometimes, the smartest way to protect your back is to find a way around heavy lifting altogether. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about now. How to work smarter, not harder. Let's be honest, there are just some things that shouldn't be lifted at our age, or at least not lifted the traditional way. Maybe it's a bulky laundry basket, a heavy toolbox, or a bag of potting soil from the garage. Instead of risking injury, why not let gravity, or a simple tool, do some of the work for you? One of my favorite tricks is sliding instead of lifting. If something's on the floor and needs to move a short distance, like a box or a piece of furniture, try scooting it along the ground instead of picking it up. Use your foot to gently push it, or if you need more control, kneel on one knee, use a cushion if it's more comfortable, and slide it with both hands. This takes a huge amount of strain off your back. Just make sure the path is clear so you don't trip. Another game changer? Pivoting, not twisting. A lot of back injuries happen when we lift something and then twist our bodies at the same time, like taking a heavy dish out of the microwave and turning to set it on the table. Instead, lift first, then move your entire body by shuffling your feet in the direction you need to go. It might feel a little silly at first, but it keeps your spine in a safe, neutral position. And don't underestimate the power of simple tools. A dolly, a wheeled cart, or even a sturdy rolling office chair can turn a risky lift into an easy task. Keep a foldable hand truck in your trunk for groceries, or use a reacher grabber tool for lightweight items on high shelves. My neighbor swears by her walking wheelbarrow for garden chores. She just rolls heavy pots around instead of carrying them. The key is to think ahead and use what's available. Now, let's not forget about breaking loads into smaller parts. That big Costco run might feel efficient, but hauling a giant pack of water bottles in one trip is asking for trouble. Instead, take 2 lighter trips, or ask the cashier to split your items into double bags for better balance. Your future self will appreciate the extra minute it took. Finally, listen to your body. If something feels too heavy, it probably is. There's no shame in asking for help, whether it's a family member, a neighbor, or even a store employee. After all, the goal isn't to prove you can still lift like you're 30. It's to stay active and pain-free for years to come. So let's recap those 3 life-saving techniques. First, lift with your legs, not your back. Second, position yourself close and stable before lifting. And third, work smarter. Slide, pivot, use tools, and lighten the load whenever you can. Put these together, and you've got a foolproof plan to protect your back while keeping your independence. Remember, small changes make a big difference. Start practicing these tips with everyday objects, and soon they'll become second nature. And if you found this helpful, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's your go-to trick for lifting safely? Let's share and learn from each other. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more practical tips to live your best life after 70. After all, age is just a number. But taking care of your body? That's timeless. Here's to staying strong, moving smart, and enjoying every day to the fullest. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.